Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to make this Band Saw Circle Jig. It's extremely easy to use, cheap to make, so let's see how I made it. A couple of features I wanted on this Band Saw Circle Jig was this adjustable radius slot. That way you can adjust it to any size circle you want, and all you have to do is just lock it down and it'll stay right there. You lock it down with this little screw here. And also I want to be able to adjust where the table stops at. That way you can change it out for the different size blades that you're going to use. And that's just adjusted by this little stop block that's attached to the extended miter bar.
For this project I'm going to use this old piece of scrap that I have laying around. It's just 3/4 inch plywood with a painted finish. I'll start by just cutting the largest square I can out of this piece. My final dimensions winded up being 17 inches by 17 inches. While we're at the table saw, we'll go ahead and cut 3 pieces that are 3 inches by 2 inches. I'll show you what these are for in a little while. Next, I'm going to lay out the location for the sliding radius slot. And we'll also lay out the location of the miter bar. That way we can scrape the surface so that the glue will stick. Now with the top piece prepared, we can move back to the bandsaw, measure for our miter slot, and then head to the table saw and cut it just a hair over size. The reason I recommend cutting it just a hair over size is that way you can use a hand plane to get it to its final dimension. This makes for a much more precise and accurate fit. With the fit on the miter bar perfect, we're going to head back to the table saw and then cut its height down to where it sits just below the surface of the bandsaw table. And that's how you want the fit to be. Next we'll head back to the table saw and we'll go ahead and cut out that sliding radius slot. Now with the slot cut out on the top, we can head back to the bandsaw and go ahead and prepare it to glue it up. We'll set a couple of washers down in the miter slot, put a little bit of CA glue onto the miter bar, and then set the tabletop down in place. Let it sit for a few minutes and then very carefully take it off. Now we'll go add some screws to it. Now the top of the table is complete. Next we just need to cut our sliding radius bars to size, as well as make the locks to lock everything in place whenever we have it set up. Whenever cutting these sliding radius bars, I like to cut them just a hair over size and then trim them down just slightly each time until I get a perfect fit. And then with the fit perfect, I'd go ahead and cut a couple extras just so you have some spares on hand. The sliding radius bar is complete. We'll head over to the drill press and get 2 of the 3 of those little small blocks we cut earlier. Now I'm just going to drill a small countersink for the T-nut, a through hole for the bolt, and then a couple of countersinks to install them with. And then with that third small piece, we'll head to the table saw and cut a shallow dado in it. This allows us to put it around the miter bar. That way we can lock the tabletop in place, helping us align the pivot pin with the blade. And then before we glue all these small pieces up, I just want to sand a finish off of them. That way the glue sticks better. You're going to take one of the ones with the T-nut in it and the one with the miter bar and glue those 2 together, and that's going to be our tabletop lock. And the other lock we're going to screw to the bottom of the table, right to where the radius bar goes in at. And just like that, the top's complete. Now let's set everything up and adjust it. You're going to start by just plunging it into your bandsaw blade. And you want to stop it right whenever the back of the teeth line up with the pivot pin. When you get that perfectly aligned, go ahead and shut the bandsaw off and then lock your miter bar in place. And just like that, the jig's complete. Let's test it out and see how it does. All you do is just press your piece down on the pivot, plunge it into the blade until it stops, and then rotate to get your circle.
Well guys, there you go. It's that easy to make. If you like this video, go ahead and like it, subscribe, and share it with everybody you can. I want to thank this guy right here for the idea on this project. I just saw a short little video of his. Check out his channel. I'll leave a link in the description. He does some great video editing work, and hopefully one day I'll be as good as him. Thanks again. Band Saw Circle Jig. It has an adjustable radius bar. Band Saw Circle Jig. It has an adjustable. Stick around and watch out. Look out! Just change the bandsaw blades.